Stop what you're doing. One of archaeology's greatest mysteries might have just been solved. The Plain of Jars in Laos is considered one of the world's most dangerous archaeological sites and consists of thousands of empty megalithic stone jars scattered around the central plain of the Xiang Quan Plateau. The jars could date to as early as the 5th century BCE and were possibly in use as late as 1200 CE, but for almost a century, no one has been able to determine what they were used for. But a discovery published earlier this week may have just blown the case wide open. Archaeologists uncovered an extremely large stone jar measuring 6 feet wide and 4 feet tall, filled with the remains of at least 37 different people inside. Now, while a funerary or cemetery function has been the leading theory for the site for many years, and they have found burials around the jars in various contexts, as well as a few bones or ashes inside some of the jars, this here is the very first time that we have concrete proof that the jars themselves were made and used for burial ceremonies. What's even more exciting is that they also found pottery sherds, an iron knife, a copper bell, and glass beads all inside this jar, which can provide us with information about who used the jars and what their world would have looked like. By studying the skeletons, archaeologists were able to determine that they would have been placed in the jars as a secondary burial, meaning they were buried somewhere else first, and then once the body partially decomposed, their bones were transferred into this jar. And get this, the people who were using this jar might have been depositing their deceased loved ones in there for over 200 years. This was a collective, collaborative funerary practice, and it's now possible that individual jars might have belonged to different families or groups, and they would have used them for ancestral rites and burials for generations. More analysis on the finds from this jar and further excavation is needed to fine-tune our interpretations and learn more about the mortuary practices related to the stone jars and how it ties into cultural beliefs and ways of life. But for now, it feels so good to say that this one archaeological mystery is solved, and that to me is very exciting.